two of the Eastern Conference's top teams. They met in Chicago on Sunday, and they did not disappoint. Joel Embiid led Philly with 40 points and 10 boards, doing what he does, but so did DeMar DeRozan. He had a season-high 45 points. Not enough, though. The 76ers beat the Bulls 119-108. It's now the Sixers' 10th straight W over them Bulls. What do they got on my Chicago Bulls?
Well, what I've got is a winner, chicken dinner. The hard way, DeMar DeRozan not racking up points by draining threes. My guy grinding it out inside the arc. He's the first Bulls player since Jordan in '97 with multiple 40-point games in the season without making a single three. That's tall work.
I'm sorry, just like who? Number 23? Oh, got it. Okay,
Never
winner.
heard of him. Never heard of him.
Embiid. This was Embiid's seventh 40-point game of the season, surpassing Steph Curry for the most now in the NBA. Also, Embiid's 20th career game with 40 points and 10 rebounds. That's second most in Sixers history behind one Wilt Chamberlain's 31.
Not bad company.
Not bad.
Let's stick in the association. Nets visit the Nuggets. Still no James Harden, out with second game with left hamstring tightness. Kyrie Irving led the scoring for Brooklyn. Shocking with 27. Cam Thomas added 20. Joker was in his bag, though, for Denver. Finished with 27, 12, and 10. That's good. En route to a 124-104 route.
Winner, good company. Jokic had a triple-double on Sunday with his 71st of his career, in fact. That's 7 shy of Wilt Chamberlain, who keeps coming up today for 6th all-time. Though him and Wilt are the only players with multiple 25-point triple-doubles on 80% field goal shooting in NBA history. Basically, they're both very good basketball players, is what I'm trying to tell you.
Well, that's a winner. I'm going to give you a loser, and that's they're still sliding. Yeah. The Nets losing streak extends to 8 straight games, longest since 2018. Weren't helped by a rough second half. They scored just 29 points. That's not good. They're fewest in any half since 2015. Trade deadline days away, which has made people wonder if the Nets might be making a big trade. On Sunday before the game, Steve Nash spoke about Harden's status.
No, I've talked to James. He wants to be here. He wants to be here long term as well. So I don't think anything's changed other than noise from the outside. James wants to be here. We're building with James, and we think we have the best chance to win with James. So, I don't think anything's changed on the inside, in our locker room, in our communication. It's just all the noise from the outside.
All right. Usually when there's smoke, there's fire, though, Steve Nash. I hear what you're saying, and I know that's the internal feeling probably from the head coach, but it kind of feels like when there's a lot of noise going on the outside, there's something rumbling inside James Harden's belly, perhaps.
But part of the noise comes from the failure, right? Like, at this point, today, right now, as we stand, the attempt to bring in this trio together with the Nets has been an abject disaster. Like, there's no nice way to put it. So we're even having these conversations because it has been an epic fail to this point. Now, sure, everything could turn around. They could get healthy. They could all come together. Vaccination statuses could change, and suddenly they go on a run to win a championship. But right now, this has been the biggest disappointment we've seen in the NBA in a generation, and that's going to cause some of this conversation.
That's bold, but I can't fully disagree. I don't think a vaccination status is going to change. What would have to happen is a mandate is lifted in New York. In my opinion, this is basically worst-case scenario for the Nets. You have an injured Durant who's not coming back till after the All-Star break. You have a part-time Kyrie Irving for the foreseeable future. And you have a James Harden who is miserable. Who is disinterested, sometimes is not giving his full effort. I am not James Harden. That's just what I am observing, not what I know for certain. And that's just not good. When we see James Harden not put in 100, he's not good.
When there's a rumor that the Nets might be considering trading one of their stars to a team they're competing with in the same conference, it tells you how broken all of this is.
Yeah, it makes no sense to me to have James Harden go to the Sixers. I understand the rationale and having Daryl Morey there and them wanting to figure that situation out. But why would you want him to go to a 76ers team who's one player away, let it be James Harden, or worse, in fact, from basically winning a chip? Like Joel Embiid is playing at an all-world level. Why would you want to add a piece of that roster that all but ensures them to go further in the playoffs than James Harden and the Nets are going to go? They're not winning the championship this year. There's no way. We've already seen chemistry issues with the Nets, and now we're seeing it again for a second year in a row. They can't stay healthy or be on the floor altogether, and if you've got one of the big three uninterested, which is what it looks like, no bueno. No bueno at all. Also, no team in NBA history has won a chip after winning 8 straight. Let's just put that out there. So they'd be making history if they indeed did go far.
Yeah, all of this
playoffs. Go ahead.
All of this still speaks to the fact that in my mind, if they're going to let Harden go somewhere else, it's because he's not playing well enough with the Nets. But if he goes somewhere else, you take the chance that suddenly it clicks. And once it clicks, now you've made a team that you have to beat. You may have to face in the playoffs better. I just can't find any way that this is not an absolute epic failure for the Nets today, for the Nets for the future, for the Nets as a brand, for all of it.
You know what would make it even worse is, to get Harden in Brooklyn, they had to trade away some guys, do a three-way trade, and one of those guys that was involved was Caris LeVert. And you know who's on the move? One Caris LeVert again, and now he might be in a better position to win a chip than Harden is. How about that? The Cleveland Cavaliers have acquired Indiana Pacers guard Caris LeVert in a trade, sources told ESPN on Sunday. LeVert goes to the Cavs with a 2022 second-round pick via Miami for Ricky Rubio's expiring contract, a lottery-protected 2022 first-round pick, and 2 second-round picks. The young Cavaliers have been a surprise so far this season, and I'm telling you, LeVert might be in a better situation there, my friend Fitzy. Speaking of the association, let's go around, catch you up on some things. Let's start with the Cavs, as we just talked about. They were hosting the Pacers. Check out this behind-the-back dime from Kevin Love. Jetty Usman.
Ooh, the teammates were ba-da-ba-ba-ba, loving it. See what we did there. Usman and Love combined to score the first 19 points in the fourth quarter. Cleveland comes back for the win.
98-85 the final. Hawks and Mavs is where we go next. And Luka Doncic was in trouble early in terms of getting fouled. However,
I'm going to give you young and restless on this. I was more of the General Hospital sort, but we'll go young and restless. Went to the bench with 5 fouls, 53 seconds into the third, played just 28 minutes. The 22-year-old still finished with 18, 10, and 11. His 45th career triple-double. That's called good.
That's very good. The Mavs got the dub 103-94 despite that foul trouble. Bucks and Clippers in L.A. and Milwaukee's starters. My goodness, were they on one?
We're going to go starters dominate as we go through this concept. The Bucks starters scored 114 points. That's good. Third most in any game in the last 25 seasons. Most in a road game.
Woo! No comeback for the Clippers in this one. Bucks get the win 137-113. Celtics and Magic. And we usually say Mo Bamba, but today we're going to say
less Bamba. Da-da-da-da. I just had to sing it for you.
You always throw songs in. Sometimes I know them, sometimes I don't.
That's La Bamba, but it's done differently.
Oh, got it.
See what I did there? All right, go ahead.
You see the stare down from Jaylen Brown there. Brown finished with 26. Celtics got the win 116-83. Pistons and Timberwolves, and Karl Anthony Towns is one what?
Cool cat and kitten. All you cool cats and kittens. Towns with the monster one-handed dunk finished with 22 points. Wolves had a big win there.